Maybe there it is.
Hey everyone, welcome to the NRL Live Chat 2.0 podcast. This is the 2024 team wrap-ups. I'm Brenner. I'm here with PJ. How you going?
Hey man, how you doing? It's Fins Up Day today. Fins up.
Fins up.
It's the Dolphins, not the Redcliffe Dolphins, just the Dolphins.
Yes, 10th place Dolphins. We're going to check out their 2024 season. We'll break down how they went, and we'll have a look at a little bit into the 2025 season. PJ, traditionally, here we go. Start us off with your overall opinion of the Dolphins' 2024 season.
Oh, Mr. Menu Log himself, Wayne Bennett, had a good start to the season. Not the first round though; they got absolutely touched up by the Cowboys, but they got a couple of good wins after that, and things seem to be going nicely. But when we go through the draw, we'll see there was a pivotal moment in the season. And the Dolphins just missed out, coming 10th. And they'd be disappointed again, being top 8 team for most of the first 2/3 of the season to not even make the 8.
Yeah, so it's a Dolphins' second year in the NRL. I thought it was a bit up and down. Strong start like last year. Found himself in first spot after 5 rounds, but improved a bit from last year, finishing 10th overall, and battling out the last game with the Knights for the top 8 spot. Couldn't quite get there.
That was a good match.
It was. I guess first things first. So we haven't really talked too much about players. We haven't singled many out, but how good is Tabuai Fidow? Seriously, the hammer. Every team needs a hammer in their team. He definitely lifts the Dolphins. Yeah, every game made a difference. He missed a few games this year, but 16 games he played. He played 16 games, scored 15 tries, and their lead try scorer for the Finns, almost a try a game. Not to mention his 2 tries he scored for the Queenslanders in the State of Origin, which they lost. Just a reminder.
15 tries for the hammer, and he missed 8 games this season.
Yeah.
He scored 15 and he missed 8 games. That's still a damn good effort. And Jermaine Osako was right up there with the top point scorers. I think he was 3rd. Val Holmes got it, but Jermaine Osako came 3rd in the top point scorers. Katoa did a really good job at fullback, but they kind of changed that to O'Sullivan right at the right time and seemed to get more out of the team. And they just seemed to get the combinations right when they needed it to. And Fuller, what about Trey Fuller? How exciting was he to watch this year?
Yeah, awesome. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the stats for the Dolphins. So, yeah, they finished off 10th on 28 points, 11 wins, 13 losses. How's this for a difference in points? -1. We're starting to head towards the positive end of the season. Points scored 577 and points conceded 578.
Teams above them that were minus more than 1.
Yeah.
2 of them actually. The Raiders and the Knights were both more than -1. It's just the wins, mate. Just the wins. At home, 6-6. If you want to play finals, you've got to be better than 6-6 at home.
Yeah. Yes, as we were saying before, Tabuai Fidow, wow. Top try scorer for the Finns. It might sound like I've got a bit of a man crush on him. he definitely...
That's definitely what it sounded like, Brenner.
Well, every team needs to have one, I reckon. One of these, they need this player in every team. He just brings something exciting to the game.
Yeah. The Dolphins came 7th in points for, which I thought was also interesting. They had a good season, I think, in the early part. In defence, though, 11th, I think it was. So not the great result that they wanted in defence. They needed to be better than that. But you can see there, started with that big loss and then a lot of green, win 4 of the next 5. They had a bye in there as well. Unfortunately, the one they lost in those 5 games was the big battle of Brisbane against the Broncos. at Suncorp, huge crowd. But yeah, then they touched up the Eels, and at the end of mid-April there, they were looking really good, and then the Newcastle Knights pipped them, and that was a bit of a shock loss, I think, for the Dolphinos. They went on a 3-game win streak from there. If you just go up a little bit, and then a pivotal moment happened after that West Tigers game. That's where Wayne Bennett signed with the South Sydney Rabbitohs almost exactly that week, and they went on a very red patch after that. But like I
Yeah,
said, they beat the Cowboys, they beat Manly, they beat the West Tigers, and then a lot of red after that.
yeah,
2 wins in about 10 matches, Breno.
yeah. It's
Not not
crazy. It's not
not
good
what they
enough, is
wanted.
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you just touched on that with the Dolphins Broncos game. Definitely their best game for the year, beating them 40-6. Their first time that they win at Suncorp against the Broncos.
in the middle there over the Rabbitohs. That was disappointing. Their first win against South, we beat them last year.
Yeah,
Golden Point match against the Warriors. That was an absolute thriller. But then a couple more losses right when they needed the wins, mate. They had the big loss against the Roosters. It was an absolute try fest. Beat the Warriors in extra time. Then they got a massive chance to make the finals, coming up against the finals team, the Bulldogs, and they got smashed. And then they had to play the
absolutely.
Storm, which means you get smashed. And then they beat Brisbane. And then they had that slight glimmer of hope. And then the Knights went,
Yeah, yeah. We'll take that. Thanks.
it's
Yeah,
time to go Dolphins. Put out
yeah,
their flame, and that was the end of the season and the end of Wayne Bennett's era at the Dolphins.
yeah. So with the worst game, I was just about to say probably the Knights when they had their chance to get into the top 8 and lost badly. But going to go back to round 1. Yeah, so
Yep.
the biggest loss, 43-18 against the Cowboys. Not a good start to the season. However, after that, they won a few after that, which was good, and they got
Yeah.
back on track.
I'm going the Dragons double, actually, mate. I'm going to go
Yeah, okay.
best win, 38-0 against the Dragons in round 2. Fantastic game. And then when they played the Dragons later in the season, with the season on the line, they
Yeah,
really needed that win.
they couldn't get it done. Yeah,
It's up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. 28,
oh,
28-6, I think it was.
26-6. Yeah,
26-6. That game there was the season-defining moment for the Dolphins. They beat the Sharks, great win. They lost to Melbourne in a great game. They played really good football. They needed that win to go into the bye and then be playing the Rabbitohs, and then get successive points. And that 26-6 loss to the Dragons was diabolical. It was so bad to watch.
yeah,
The Dolphins were horrendous that night. So I'm going the Dragons double there for best win and best loss.
yeah. Right.
I guess that shows you the consistency issues that the
Yeah,
Dolphins have.
definitely.
Their best win and their best loss was against the same team.
All right, so
Yeah, and
yeah, do you want to
sorry.
explain this one for us?
Yes, so I did a points table up to show how many teams have to play another team twice and whether they won or lost. So this is the Dolphins. So the first column is all of the games when they played each other the first time, obviously. They don't play themselves. And then the second time it shows they got more games, Breno, in the bottom half than the top half. They only had 3 up the top. They beat the Cowboys 28-26, but they got to play quite a few teams. You can see there's 4 losses below them: Dragons, Broncos, Warriors, and the Titans. Those 4 games you've got to win if you're making finals
Yeah,
football.
for
You've got
sure.
to beat the bottom teams. And when you're only picking up 3 wins against the top 8, it makes it even more important to pick up those wins. You need 14 wins to really make sure you're in the playoffs these days, maybe 13. But yeah, the Dolphins ended up one short.
So 2025 doesn't show it here, but obvious change. Supercoach is out, and the assistant coach steps up from what I believe. He'll be
Yeah.
coaching next year, 2025. Christian
Who is
Wolf.
the assistant coach? I don't even know.
Christian Wolf.
Christian Wolf. All right.
Hope I pronounced that correctly.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Bennett, 74-year-old Bennett, by the way. How many more years has he got to coach? Do you think he's heading over to your team, PJ, next year?
Yeah, I think he signed with us for 2 or 3. I think it was 3.
I think it's 3. Yeah.
from memory. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Our team's in complete disarray, and we're not here to talk about the Bunnies today. But he's going to have his work cut out for him. I'll tell you now. But the Dolphins rookie coach, they've got two guys coming. Junior Tupou from West Tigers. He's not bad.
Yeah.
He's played some good football, even though he was in the bottom team this year. And then that guy, I'm not even going to try and say that. Cooley,
Let's have a go.
Cooley
Yep.
Kefu, Finn Fanuaki from the North Queen. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. So I'm a little bit nervous that they're going to struggle. Tavita Pangai Jr.'s off to England. Thank God we don't have to watch him play anymore. Ewan Aiken's joining Souths, and Jared Watson, don't even know who he is. He left mid-season. So not a lot of movement for the squad.
Yeah.
I don't know where the Dolphins are going to make the improvements to make the finals, Breno. I really don't. I don't see it here.
Just have to have a big off season, I think.
Yeah.
Get into the training early and get your team sorted. Yeah.
Yeah, bunch of guys off contract. Jesse Bromwich, it's likely he's going to retire. Tessie New, Anthony Milford really didn't hit any straps that he wanted to there. Edric Lee was a great player at the Raiders. Went to the Sharks, I think, for a short period of time, and then disappeared, and then turned up at the Dolphins and really never made first grade. So the Dolphins' backline are good. I think they really need to improve the forward pack if they're going to compete at the top 8 level next year. So what's your prediction, buddy?
So for 2025, I'm saying top 8. No.
I don't see a top 8 here either.
11, 12, around that area, but
it's exactly what I was going to say. 11, 12.
Potentially they could sneak into the top 8. Like a couple of teams we've already done. There's potential there, but I can't see it happening.
Yeah, I think it'll be very similar this year. They'll need a win or two to get in, and they're not going to get those win or twos. So they'll be a year older. You know, Tabuai Fido, Jermaine Asako, Katoa, Trey Fuller. They've got to find a way to get all of those guys firing at the same time consistently.
Absolutely. Yeah,
if they're going to win, they've got to do it consistently. And at the moment, like I said, there's just up and down in their performances. And, that's why they're not playing finals footy.
There you go. So close. They come close.
If we had the Maxwell Smart, cut me out. Missed it by that much. So that's the Dolphins, Breno. That's the Dolphins for this year. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the Dolphins season. But next up, Breno, we've got Sticky Ricky's Raiders.
Ooh, up the milk.
Up the milk. Got the Raiders next up. So comment below. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next episode.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.